Welcome to our lovely future humans, to those who are curious on our topic today. We had one already, but we're going to continue with love. The topic from today was in our simple step-by-step roadmap to your best life in love podcast series playlist, and it's called Being Yourself the Smart Way. Involves love, mind, and mindset, mastery and body in VBS-5D Mystic Stories. So you will have already heard of a boyfriend, teenager, facade, a bunch of, I'm going to share some more, but if you do know love, you will know that it's not a game because you don't dehumanize people. It doesn't matter, monoamory, polyamory, we know it's special, and that's because of our oxytocin gene hormone. And so when you're also, for my lovely mystic spiritual, the ones of us who know about Jesus and God, Holy Spirit, Akash Source, when I hear that sentence, the one from Matthew 22:14, many are called, but few are chosen, I don't think that it's about many being called and few are chosen, is that many people don't choose their essence once it's lost. Or they don't reclaim, basically, humanly speaking, their child parts. So they confuse and distort all of their channeling, downloading for mystics and spiritual. They're all the bypassers. That which is to download with a broken heart. The narratives come from their adaptive child part. It's non-metabolized trauma charges, plus images, plus a lot more, and books, by the way. And because it's a child's version of what a grown-up coulda, shoulda, woulda done, and it's a rigid and or chaotic environment, their head, their thoughts, okay? So they don't have I'm presence. They don't use their body in ventral vagal state. They're using that amygdala, and they're not using that which could support them to dissolve the charges, okay? So number one, you can manifest even with trauma, but again, they're not on the same wavelength as I think the word that we would use, although it's more about you meet Pinocchios. Okay, so harsh, unforgiving. It's like when they say you lose people with your oversoul when you're rising. No, you don't. I've risen. No, I've always been on a high. When you're always love, it's because you know how to use your nervous system. You see, the ventral vagal state. So it's just you being you. Be yourself the smart way or the real way, basically the authentic you. So today, thanks to trending topics being neuroscience, neurobiology, I know that I can use words and people get it. And then I'll know the ones who will be like, yeah, I'm really great. And they're not, but it's not my business. So they will uphold their own lifestyle and culture and idea that they know what tradition, morality, ethic, and integrity is. And they will tell the monoamory community or the polyamory that one of the two is right. And I'll be like, excuse me, that's not what love is. You must not understand how it works. Love is not about what you use as your labels. It's a feeling, and it's because we're securely attached, non-traumatized people, and so we know what we want in life. That's why it's not a game. Don't waste my time. I didn't ask you to have to be in a relationship. It's very straightforward if you're interested or not, and amygdala works very well. So when you understand why consensual non-monogamy is consensual, it's because you actually have not only the capacity to be transparent, authentic, but also want that which is for others in your special life to be potentially happy. It's not a I own you game. So the part about why people are thinking of it in bad terms, and then the ones who think our society should be one or the other, I actually find it hilarious, because anytime someone's trying to make it into a blanket statement, I'm like, okay, so there's that left mode who's wanting a 1 or a 2. We don't need 1 or 2. We can allow ourselves to know there's an opportunity called some people will be monoamory, some people will be polyamory, and there's no reason for us to put them on pedestals or have them compete, because they're not insecure, meaning that it's not having to be one or the other. You see, immature thinking of insecure people, black or white, yes or no, that's left. It's not left and right. Left and right says, I don't care which one it is. And in fact, when you meet empowered men, I have a lovely conversation with a man who was presented by a woman. I'm polyamory. He's like, I don't care. I like you. I'm into you. I'm good with that. And that was it. And that's how it works when monoamory and polyamory meet each other, when they're securely attached and know what love is. Insecurities, there's conversations that happen. That's why there's check-ins. And in fact, I actually kind of laugh because I've moved into that polyfidelity vessel, and I think of the forums that I've been on, and they are all like judging each other. Ew, polygamy. Ew, I was like, okay, ew, really? I mean, granted, I'm ew a lot of things, like lot. But when it comes to your relationships, they're special and they're yours. So it's not for me to say. But that's when I realized not all polyamory are securely attached people. And they won't get to secure attachment by giving each other numbers. It's actually dehumanizing. I can't even believe that they're dehumanizing people. So when I think of using the word love, you don't use the word love if you don't know how to allow mistakes to happen, to forgive, and to therefore be a person who can support each other. Because while some people will talk to you about conditions, those are people who need therapists. I don't need conditions because I know how to be Maria. Then I know how to handle a heartbreak because it's not personal and it's not a heart that broke. It's a heart that got sad because we didn't end up wanting the same thing, and that's meaning us. Did that mean I needed to die? You let him get away, my teenage boyfriend. And I was like, the grown-ups knew some things, not all things. Love's the same. I love him the same way. I just don't want to be with him. And I'm happy she got him, because if it's that easy to take him away, I mean, really, I don't need a man that's that. He's not a man. Is that a man? That's not a man. That's not a woman. If a woman don't know what she wants, she knew what she wanted, and she still does, which is why I actually tip my hat to her. Even without me and her becoming friends, she could have gotten her way, because that's exactly what happens when you fall in love. You're going to do anything. That's where I have a different idea. No, I think that you don't do anything. I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that. Actually, so yeah, no, you don't do anything, but you can do things that society can deem shameful. Shame on them for judging something they know nothing about. But until we have people who want to put integrity and morality on a monoamory, polyamory, okay, so we're having a conversation, which is smart people don't do that. Empowered people don't do that. Love is not involving that which is an emotionally insecure person. And now that there's science that is talking about it, I can explain it and talk about it. I already knew it as a kid. I got sat down and said, nope, you can't love all the same. I do. No, you have to have 1, 2, 3s. I don't. But we all tease. It's kind of like with my siblings. We tease about who are the favorites. God don't have no favorites. Teasing is one thing. Actually thinking that there are is another. And when you meet the ones who are actually insecure, it's unfortunate. Their grandiosity shows through every single bit, because anytime somebody gets insecure, they're going to do something that's going to be pretty much like a buffoon, and you're going to notice it. And that's where it's not going to look hot. As they get older, and it's not even going to look interesting. It's going to look completely... So, back to the topic before I sidetrack and go into a segue that is unnecessary. Love is not a game, because it's your life that we're talking about. And people who understand that it's not about you having to be committed to the ball and chain. Now, I need to address the fact that I'm 45 and that I have twin flames and I have soulmates. And so I have a long journey of Maria's past. And so with that, I do know when I was a teenager, as the cheating went on, it was definitely not as dramatic as my other girlfriends, but I wasn't happy about it either. But when the breakup finally happened, I was fine. I knew I would be recuperating, and that means grieving. I think I told you that in the other stories from our other episodes. So that's why it's a simple step-by-step roadmap to your best life in love, but that's because, again, the ventral vagal state. And so once you are doing personal spiritual growth, even as a 20-year-old, you're not going to feel devastated. In fact, you're just going to be able to process. That's called resilience, the good way. The bad way would be where when you hear people talking to you about armor, that's not good. So when people have armor on, it's usually going to be on one of the two Terry-Reals unhealthy self-worth and unhealthy self-soothing scale. So they grow up to become my age and older or younger, and say, why me? Why me? And they, like a Zen master, will say, I have laundry. There's no enlightenment frequency. Or like a cynic who will say, I want it to be a world where it's about what is right, not what feels right. So people who don't have a good relationship with love, their oxytocin gene hormone, because they don't have ventral vagal state, don't understand that an armor doesn't protect you. You don't need one. You're not in war. And armors were very heavy. So the medieval times are gone. Please stop. We have better technology. And really, we're not going to be talking about war like this for a long time, because our future is smart people, not stupid ones. Smart means integrated brains, not the ones who are not integrated, because not integrated, well, if you think you can half-heartedly love someone or do anything, you are mistaking. Because, yes, blind people. When you don't know yourself, you're going to lose every battle. When you don't know yourself and you don't know others, you're going to lose every battle. When you think you know others but you don't know yourself, you're going to lose every battle. As there's those of us who know ourselves so well, and humanity. And so love wins because that actually is what advances our species, due to the fact that it's our mammalian heritage, which came around once we were able to sit down with each other. So the only people who don't want to sit down together forever and eons are the same ones who think humanity's broken, and the same ones who are Diego's family. Does anybody know what Diego's family does? So while the people who are Diego from Ice Age, backstabbers, liars, do you know what truth knows? Yes, truth. Vulnerability, authenticity, God, Akash Source, Anima Mundi. Truth always wins, as it doesn't ever really change. I mean, Hippocrates said, once we find out what the wrath of the gods is, the epilepsy stuff, it won't be called the wrath of the gods. We know there's no demonic possession, but instead there's people with pathologies, serious ones, and they all can be healed, so they can go heal themselves, which is why you take away the monster, kind of like anybody who ever watched Criminal Minds. Take away the monster. Let's tell the truth. Guess who's not going to like the truth? Lack of imagination for evil? No, we have not lack of imagination. We have bountiful of imagination. We know what evil is. It's nothing more than people who end up in prison and waste their life away, and then, oh, I'm sorry, there's a certain number that are apparently charming. To who? Let me think. The ones who are confused and distorted with broken hearts. Guess what happens as they continue to be low self-esteem and direct communicators, passive-aggressive with Diego's family? Ice Age again. So what do backstabbers always do to each other? Because they're bodies that are not owned, so their 14-month-old is not theirs. Which is why, I mean, they can be governed by one organization, and those words will get used that way, and we have people who don't go to hospitals as they think they're more faithful. They are the true ones that believe in God. That's how they worked. I never learned from my Christian Catholic upbringing that I needed to not learn science. And when someone tells me, as they go to doctors, that God doesn't need science to explain humans, I think, well, do you need the doctors to heal your stuff? Or, I mean, you didn't have to go then, but you don't present that to people who don't hear themselves speak. They lack self-reflection because they lack self-awareness. That's called a hypocrite in the land of those of us who know what it means to be our true selves. It's, oh, look, there's another facade friend. Oh, look, there's another boyfriend, teenager years. Oh, look, there's a bunch of other bullshitters. Hey, God, so listen, those humans suffering, do I need to hang out with them a little bit more? I mean, really, I really am trying to get them to learn about the ventral vagal state, but they really don't want it. They don't know how to commit to life. They don't care about themselves, you know? I mean, I just got told by my Pinocchio friends that they're going to continue drinking a lot and smoking a lot. And I mean, I smoke a little bit and drink a little bit, but they just told me that I need to watch as they wither away like Dorian Gray. And well, I can. I mean, I am, after all, an expert yogi, prophet, guru, all of it. So I have, where is it? Resh. I'm mastering it. These words, they mean something. You don't need to use them like a big shot. It means you use your human secondary consciousness to know what you feel. Thanks, Jesus, right here. Holy Spirit, God. And then, oh, look, I thought with my crocodile ventral vagal state, body, and Buddha, and future Buddha, smile. Earth is protected. That for sure. Light codes, attack. Smurfs, go get Gargamel. Attack. With our lovely heart, we get to continue being I'm present. Okay, so when you do love, again, monoamory, polyamory, doesn't matter. You will know it's not a game because it's a special gift to have a relationship. This is called the securely attached relationship. I want to be your safe haven, secure base. So we share interests, we share moments of silence, we share all of it. And that means that your nervous system regulates in safety. You also have fun and laugh together. It's really fun, by the way. So I know that when you're emotion mature, it's easy for you to know this, which is why you don't get confused. When the people are confused, that's because they are dehumanizing each other due to the fact that they still haven't welcomed who they are as humans. So they're thinking that love is meant to be hard work, while love is when you can make a mistake, say you're sorry, and continue to care about each other's inner and outer well-being, mental, emotional, physical health. That's what true love is. So that's why with the teenage boyfriend, I wasn't surprised. Tune into the other episode for stories. When I started to get all the downloads of what was happening, it took me some time before my clairs were clear on why I was picking up the way I was. And in both people, when the time came for me to be able to clear our energy sphere, I did that because I wanted to. And I got archangels came to visit, and luckily I know that it helped, even though obviously you don't prove it. I didn't go saying anything, but I remember finding out the good news. I was like, I'm so happy. Yay. And then I got a gift. And that was the day that I had something. This is when you know that nothing's ever taken away from those of us who live Dharma, not the karma. We all have karma, but the karma, you close it out. And the planet's only in Dharma now, so it's not a special anything. We'll talk some more about that if we have a late HP show, and we'll just continue to chit chat about it. But it's basically where you don't have trauma charges build up, because again, your body's ventral vagal state, so you can work with all the charges. Those are emotions. You don't have child parts that are still suffering. You are whole. And so you're being yourself the smart way, again, with love and mind and mindset and mastery and all that good stuff, body, VVS. And you don't waste people's time, because time is all you have. So you don't get into an actual loving relationship, monoamory or polyamory, unless you're wanting the relationship. That's for a securely attached human being. My teenage boyfriend and I, we were friends before we got into a relationship. And when people said, but you can date, I'm like, well, as I get older, I mean, dating, yeah, but I don't know you. What if you're a mass murderer, So there's just a lot of different elements. But anyways, that's a funny story that I could share with you all. But usually, yeah, the special bonds are because they were built. And when people are not able to have love, it's because they didn't heal. And so they're continuously navigating with the bell that ding, 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 attracts the wrong. No, it doesn't attract the wrong. It's that they still have unresolved stuff that they could heal. Okay, so when you love someone, you'll love them forever, because you don't kick anybody out of the herd. That's not nice. We all make mistakes. That's the point. You don't label somebody based on their mistakes, which is why if you overflow in humanity, divinity descends. It means your common sense, pure consciousness, pure energy, Purusha, Shiva, Prakriti, Shakti. 3-year-old is your pure essence, and the pure energy is just using common sense. So you can tell when your left is chit-chatting, and you can tell when your right is chit-chatting, and you're like, hey, Maria, we got a hug going on. So of course you learn how to process and welcome that which is. So I accept and love all of my loved ones, and this is just in general. And that's where you get curious, courageous and strong. I'm going to say, sure, but really who's courageous and strong are the people who are doing the manual stuff and are out in places where the essence of the very poor children that are getting ripped out of there. And God tells me it's going to be okay, and I know it will, because that's why our human species, it always evolves towards its best, next best. It's mental, emotional, physical health, not the opposite. The buffoons who don't understand it, I mean, really, I have nothing to say to them except for they don't know how the brain works, of those of us who do know how it works. You love to be a human, because we're always clearing the clutter, and we're all the lovely little ants. So we do know that many will be called, and the many will be able to at this point join us, because all people have the smart therapists out there telling them how to become their best version. Be yourself. We already are here, and so we get to continue to do that, and then to bring forth, at least I will, many, many fun stories. So we don't get tested by our twin flames, by the way, or our soulmates. No, we get to continue to be that which we came to be. The pure essence of yourself is the 3-year-old, 1-year-old, all the child parts. You self-regulate in your ventral vagal state, and then you share safe haven, secure base with people. And when they fuck it up, you don't shame them about it. You just have conversations. But really, as you get older, by the way, with securely attached, non-traumatized, meaning aware people who regulate, it's always a fun time. That's why we don't need Terreal, but Terreal's out there to help people who are grown-ups to get their relationship on a good roll. And so again, it's not a competition. Securely attached people know how to handle each other, because we're not really handling each other, we're loving each other. We're having fun. It's called playtime. And yeah, playtime is fun time. So with that being said, thanks for stopping by. We'll be back with more. Have a good one.